We set the trends and the script.
Absolutely. You are, you have been, you will be under the roof.
Snip this glue, get in the zone, because we got to go do something. So that's what we did. And I'm going to be honest with you, I used to like it. You got people from the east and the west and different places, to come over and groove with us.
Was Hoover Groovers a part of Hoover? Never met a Hoover Groover.
Never met.
Me and you was never in my life. But
A part of what was called the Bonzella Crips.
Hoover Groovers ain't started no Hoover Crips. And we hit that hand moving on you, walking in your house.
Wait, do that again.
Hit that hand moving on you, that messed up your whole party. You are, you have been, you will be under the group. Trey, 4, 7-11, the Deuce, and the 9. Hoover Hay culture enthusiasts, the Hoover Knights, the Hoover Collective, and to the people. Look, man, let's get started. It needs to be said that our goal on this platform is to foment unity amongst us. Many desire to push through the BS, and many more need for that to happen for all our sakes. Frankly, though, there are some who can care less. So we like to expose exactly where brothers stand on the plight of those political issues we all face as black people in LA and nationwide. That said, let's address some of the ailment that affects us and our communities daily. We've all witnessed lately how other segments of society have attempted to blatantly implant themselves again into our culture. For some of us, this is nothing new, especially when it involves a thing that black people own, create, culturalize, and commemorate. We can attest to the usurpation of not only our culture, but also of our very lives by those who openly despise, hate, and seek to replace us. Yet, they emulate us to the fullest. Not to flatter us though, as some of you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but they don't do it for that. They do it to take over what we've created for themselves. Our story is widespread and characterized by emotional distress or tension created by others in society who sought to take or claim something that is not rightfully theirs from us. There are instances in our history where others have imitated something of ours and eventually came to own it because they desired it to be theirs. So they have claimed those things that bring and attract money, those things that can be placed on the auction block and sold. Nowadays, our remembrance to commemorate those of our ancestors who have gone before and suffered wrongs in the hands of society are up for grabs. In the matter of people in society attempting to misrepresent themselves as underrepresented in black culture, look, man, you are not entitled to anything black. Look, we've also witnessed these affronts before, and we should always view them as issues of grave concern. There are people, not like us, who, if allowed, will strip the flesh from our bones while smiling in our faces. Make no mistake about that, people. Now, politically speaking, because our very lives are attached politically to all things, be it race, economics, society, employment, housing, it must be said, politically, we've been in a situation of war for a long time. It's just that most of us don't realize this. So how is it possible that brothers and sisters who are not aware that society is against them and wants them to continue down this path of self-destruction, but is aware of who will be the next guest on No Jumper, Vlad TV, or any of those platforms that dispense bullshit that keeps us stagnated? Are we so well trained people to where we only focus on each other's colors and what community we're from rather than on those things and those people who truly conspire to do us harm, to do us wrong, to keep us psychologically fucked up like others before them have done us? Here's some real spit though, in terms of the issue. It really isn't them that's doing this to us, man. The problem is us. It's our fault. We're to blame for what we are experiencing, for everything that's on our plate. No one else, man. No one else is to blame. So when another part of society wants to act entitled, want to act as though they run us or run our shit, man, don't stop to pay them attention as though what they're saying or what they are doing is gold, as if we don't have a say in the matter. If we're going to stop to address something that others have said or done that is against us, we should only stop to analyze what it is we are doing. Stop to consider how we as a whole give them this sense of false entitlement. In order for us to rectify this, we must correct ourselves, check ourselves, our thoughts, our words, and our actions. That should be how we address and how we confront our issues. This is the format in terms of approaching a thing that surely affects us all. If not, then at what stage do we fall back to examine whether or not we take responsibility and accountability for ourselves? In order for our youth, all the young ones in our communities and in the streets to rise up, we have to at some point wake up. We must become conscious. We cannot afford to wait any longer, man. If we do, this situation, it becomes insurmountable, even for our children's children. It will consume us all as a race of people, man. The other part that brings all this together concerns sacrifice. Not for sacrificing for ourselves individually, but sacrifice for our people, for our families, for our communities. There has to be sacrifices made for this struggle. Otherwise, they will continue to count on us to be irresponsible. They will continue to count on us to be unaccountable. They will continue to count on us to keep destroying each other. Where does this sacrifice come from, you may ask? Well, first, we act to transition from a position that we know has proven to be nothing but detrimental to us all. That position we've been standing on for decades must be abandoned completely. This is accomplished by addressing one key factor, people: communication. There hasn't been any effective communication amongst us for a long time, no matter what the circumstance, situation, or issue. That is what's missing in our communities. We know this because we've already analyzed the root causes of our problems with each other. But knowing isn't doing. Doing is acting upon the proposition of communication within our community for those who our communication will best serve. Who then must do the bulk of this work? Who should be at the helm of making the initial sacrifice? Who can communicate to our youth in the streets more effectively than mothers, fathers, pastors, the police, or the criminal justice system? That sacrifice should come from our OGs, period, point blank. Because what duty of an OG is greater than that of communicating to all those they set trends for all those they schooled, for all those they raised, for those they led, for those who carry their namesake, and for those they died for. The OGs in their time spoke to us of their experiences. Their lives speak to us of longevity, their knowledge and wisdom, and of course, their downfalls. That had us wanting to be them. Man, their word was God to us. We'd fallen to hell. These concerns is why an OG's communicative ability is so imperative. The sanctity of OGs in their communities is one that is unassailable. Have the OGs forgotten their worth? Have they lost their way? Disregarded their responsibilities? Have they forsaken their authority to lead rightfully over what's wrong and is going on around them? When did OGs become second rate, man? When did they fall from the pinnacle of our society and relinquish the roles of protector, provider, and protagonist? How did this come to be? Especially when said OGs were not only known and respected as solid, but stumped down as well to prove it. Granted, not all OGs are solid and stumped down. Not all OGs who call themselves OGs are principled or can lead. But those who are, who we know to be that from everywhere, have an obligation to be that to their dying day. That's their status. This position requires that they teach the masses even as they continue to learn. It speaks to their legacy, man. The title demands that an OG stands up and pops out when needed to confront those issues and situations that we know are wrong in our communities. And this is done where and when others cannot do it. Their presence and experiences speaks volumes, man. It allows them to go to places, to sit down with people, break bread, and speak like men amongst other men about the going-ons around us that we all know is wrong. We don't have Malcolm. Fred is dead. George, Jonathan, Huey are gone. Asada is exiled. Angela and others are MIA. But y'all taught us what y'all learned from them. So how is it that y'all ain't stood up yet and corrected the chaos that is going on around us? What fear can possibly exist now at your age, at your time in life, after everything you've already been through, to keep the OGs from coming together and just speaking out? What haven't you already seen in your lifetime that can make you fall back in the most dire situations like this, man? OGs, yours is a position of praise. It is a position of leadership. You are the pastors, and each and every one of our communities is your church. That makes us the congregation. This position is known, it's honored. It has shown to be one worthy of its owner. In all due respect, OGs from all over have neglected their titles for the sake of comfort for themselves, watching and hearing all this BS take place while still expecting that recognition as that G, and yet have done nothing significant to cease the shit that's going on around us. The status of a G has been placed over peace for our young people in these streets and ourselves in the community. OGs are bridge builders for the communication, man. Repair some motherfucking bridges for the sake of the young and the people. Come out of retirement. Stop just wearing your OG status as a badge like some old ass sheriff too scared to do something in a town full of young wayward desperados. The error of their ways must be addressed. OGs must repair the lines of communication inside and out the communities in order for us all to cross over to the other side where there's peace of mind, peace in the communities, and peace as a motivational tool we can use to refocus building on those issues that will improve us all. When will we see the OGs come together for unity amongst us, man? To the OGs who are involved in this endeavor, we see you. You bring honor to the title. This sacrifice is great. We know this. And still, we ask that you continue to live up to that which you are and represent it daily. Your people are in need of you, man. You have been, you are, and you will be under the groove. Power in the people.
Trey folks, 7-Eleven, the Deuce and the 9. You have been, you will be under the groove.
But we ain't gang banging, this is about education. We trying to educate our youth right now, nigga. Hey. Said day is the best day. Skip walking across the floor in the best way. From Trey to the one way. It's a stump day. LA to the NY. Let this phone play.
Back in them days, it was love, loyalty, respect, and honesty.
That's my nigga Gumby right
there.
You know,
ex-busters, hooks, and snitches put on pedestals and ventilators.
Say lows on that Hoover shit. HIP, Tony Moon, one of the hardest poets I ever heard connected with this star shit. Hey. Baby Jap and Jap 5, quick to set it off on the mic in the shack live.
When the shit get real and feel to the wheel, and then you will see. You sitting up in that motherfucker, looking at that light sin, that death sin.
Then they run into a witness stand, telling on their own homeboys.
Hoover stomp all night like this. Hoover stomp
like that. I know how to start them ass motherfuckers.
I'm a New York nigga in the Pacific Sun. I say West Side Hoover if you ask where I'm from. Finest California brunch, infusing my lungs. All about my bread, I ain't leaving.
Understand the end game. What's your end game? What's your purpose?
Keep one in the head or I don't need a gun. I'm with Hawk Hoover. Hoover Street with a low ass jump. Hopping down Figueroa with a whole selling cunt.
You have
Grooving
been.
like this, come second to none. Grooving like
will be
Scone Young, grooving like Booker
under the
Bone.
roof.
I'm bad to the bone.